So this is component 3, mock A1, question 2. We have 4 types of plant cells. Yes, plants. You remember plants, don't you, from last year? And 4 different types of cells, and naming them, giving their basic function, and then naming an organ. So this should be 9 marks out of 9 marks. There are some hard marks on this paper, yeah, lots of hard things to do and calculations and so on, but naming a few plant cells and saying what they do shouldn't be a big challenge if you have done your revision. Okay, so this is no excuses for this question, 9 out of 9. We have our first set of cells. So if I just draw a little diagram here just to make this a bit clearer. It's a big kind of couple of cells there with a circular disc with holes in between where the cell wall would normally be, and a skinny little cell with a nucleus at the side. And that is our phloem tissue. So this is our phloem tissue. So big cell with this sieve plate, the holes, and a little cell next to it. The little cell is the companion cell. But what's the big one? So that is the sieve tube, the phloem sieve tube. And quite a few people saying it was a companion cell or getting it confused with xylem. That's just revision that you need to do. The function is, what does it actually transport? So it transports sucrose, or the products made in photosynthesis. So transports sucrose. You could have said carbohydrate or something like that, but sucrose is the best answer because it's the actual sugar. Then we appear to have a larger cell with only a really thickened cell wall with no cell contents in at all. Unlike the phloem where there was occasional kind of nuclei and things like that inside, this has no cell contents at all, and in the longitudinal view, so the lengthways view, you can see it's got rings of stuff around it in 2 different sort of ways. So this is rings of lignin around it. So this is our xylem. And what's the name of the cell? So we can't just say xylem cell because that's not specific enough. We need to remember the actual name of this compartment here. So that's our xylem vessel. And function is to transport water or water and minerals. So transports water. Right, next up we've got looks like a big pair of lips, and you should recognise this, and you've got a hole in between them. So the name of the hole is the stoma, or plural stomata. That was our most common wrong answer. We want, what's the name of the cell? So the cell here, there's 2 of them, those are our guard cells. So the actual name of the cells, and then what do they do? And well, they open and close the stoma, so they're controlling in, and then why do they do that? What's the actual hole for? Well, the hole is for things to go in and out, and you are expected to know what sort of things might go in and out. So this is gas exchange, or allowing CO2 in. So gas exchange, allow CO2 in for photosynthesis, or we could say for opening and closing. And we've got our last Last cell, hopefully you recognise kind of squarish cell with this strange, looks like a rubber band that's been wrapped around it. Many of you could name the name of the black line as a Casparian strip, but it wants the name of the cell, and various different names here, but endodermal cell is the best answer. So endodermal cell. So not the Casparian strip, because that's part of the cell. And what's it for? Well, we've told you about the apoplast and the symplast pathways. And what does this strip do? Well, it forces the water from the apoplast in the cell walls, travelling through the cell walls, into the symplast, actually travelling through the cytoplasm of the cells. So that's our best answer. So move water from the apoplast into the symplast pathway. You could also give a slightly more harder answer, really, of active transport of substances, into the pericycle and so on, if you can remember all that. But the simplest answer, looking at the evidence that you're given, showing the Casparian strip, and it shows blocking off the cell wall apoplast pathway. That's what you should be doing. B. State the plant organ. So in the core you did about tissue organisation, and you did about cells, tissues, organs, and kind of organ systems, then organisms. So that's your level of organisation. So this has to be an organ. You can't say a cell or a tissue. And the organs on a plant, things like leaf, stem, root, and you should recognise these as our root. If I just draw a little root, so you've got your epidermis, epi kind of on the outside, you've got your endodermis there, so cell D will be in here, and this is our root. So 9 out of 9 there.